Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Today I have three stories for you. First, I'm going to do a story about a story that came about a month ago, that a horrible hate site that Scientology would use on their members, especially Lara FM's dad. And then I'm going to bring you Liz Gale, and then Sci- Scientology, however you say that. But, however, we're going to go on to Laura's father. As you know, Laura's father is a Scientologist, as you all know. He is Lara FM's father. Everyone in the SPTV community is well known right here on YouTube. Phil Anderson, who is originally a Canadian native that is here in the United States as a resident. Both father and daughter is well known for being, of course, you've seen it in a photo that she displayed while streaming of her as an infant and her father as a young man. Lava FM is a very known on YouTube for being a rock singer. And she is very talented too when she's performing. Scientology came out with a hate video about Lara FM starring her father. But as some of you all know, that organization are trying really hard to pressure Laura's father to go against his daughter. Osa and David Miscavige tore them apart by disconnecting both Phil and Laura. And of course, you all know that they do that to everybody else and their families. They disconnect. And you all know Scientology is a cause so much problems between those two. Then a month later, it in front of a camera to do a hate video about her. Laura got so upset that she would pour her heart out on her own show, which is such a brave thing for her to do. She would also show clips of her father on Scientology's hate site and had Phil on camera, which is, well, which is still a brave thing for her to do. And keep your fingers crossed. They will get back together one day. Just keep hoping and praying. And he did what they wanted him to do, was to lie and say that she didn't want to talk to him anymore. And we all know that's not true because we all saw Laura a year ago pass by on the sidewalk. And she screamed through the top of her voice that she loved him and just ignored her. This was at the protest at the Shrine Auditorium. That was the most worst thing that can happen to a family. And Scientology just contributed to. Then also got him to say that she cut off all communication with the entire family, and that's not true. She still talks to her brother, and that's according to Aaron Smith Levin. But then ultimately, after she showed all the clips, she just kept pouring her heart out. Then nevertheless, he would lie all through the video about being in school and having a good relationship. That never happened. And she wasn't at a school. She was in a labor camp for kids. And of course, that's also coming from Aaron Smith Levin, according to him. And overall, everything he said, horrible. It was all nonfiction. None of it was true. But all in all, Scientology is behind everything in that video. None of those words he said were true. Those were all Scientology's words. And that organization winded up running everything around that set. Ran all that horse and pony show. Everything on that set was hateful, and it was a hate show for Scientology. They just don't know right from wrong. And David Miscavige, he does what. Then the purpose of that video is to target Laura's rights on Father's Day to make her look bad. But that whole video was meant to destroy Laura mentally. But then at the end, did he do this on purpose? No. According to Aaron Smith Levin, he loves his daughter. But in my theory, if he loves his daughter, he has a funny way of showing it. It was horrible what he did to her. Then, in conclusion, what David Miscavige did was cruel. And he did that right on Father's Day. Out of all days. Now from Lara FM to Liz Gale. Liz Gale has the heart of a soldier without any violence. And she has more, but she knows how to have good information for every source, for everyone when she has it. And when she has any information, she knows because carrying with all that she has when having information for everybody. Now she is being wise with all her information, and she would have all her knowledge about each and every fact. She has information about Hulk Hogan's widow, Skylar, and her Scientology parents. So awesome, because she has fun with every information she is giving out, even though it's depressing, horrible. His widow, that's Hulk Hogan, is known that she has parents. It's known that she has parents who are in Scientology, whether she is in or out of Scientology. Liz has that information all on all three of those family members of that organization that they're in. Tyler sees her parents, according to Gail, she has to get set checked whenever she sees them. She can't even torment that cult, not without it, because she knows that Scientology can disconnect her from her parents, just like in the situation with Lara and her father. Skylar Hogan really wants to have her own comfort when it comes to grieving her husband. She wants to have a relationship with a mom and dad, which is understandable. Even if, when it comes to all those loss of loved ones, Liz has information called the loss of a person. And this is so unusual for anyone. They would use dark witchcraft to get over her husband. Because, as you know, everyone in Scientology can't cry because they think it's a sign of. According to Liz, Skylar has to find something practice, something that she does it that doesn't even remind her of her husband, Hulk Hogan. Gail addresses that she would use her imagination, and then she would use that I statement, meaning this is a process that they use, which is a statement dealing with the word I, by saying, I am over him. I don't miss him as much, which is a cold thing to even think. And Scientology just out and out provokes a problem, which is a heartless process to use. This would address that Scientology will not allow to see any mental health professional. Unhealthy thing, because when whenever they experience any mood swings or any suicidal thought or action, they can't deal with it. So they have to have a mental health provider to help them deal with it. And the reason why they won't let any of the members go see a mental health profession is because, as I addressed it before in other videos, L. Ron Hubbard, throughout his adulthood, uses it to get even with all the psychiatrists that laughed him right out of the room because of that stupid e-meter. He told, and of course, according to Scientology, he is the source, that is the reason why Scientologists can't go see a mental health professional, because of his beef with psychiatry. Liz knows how the Scientology works and how they would use their corrupt tactics on Scientologists and other members of Scientology. Is all full of all the knowledge that organizations, all of the organizations practices. And ultimately, she would know how to answer questions that there is. Overall, her past experience made her know how to address things while she is streaming on her. In conclusion, Liz knows how to address how Scientology would deal with losses that all the Scientologists has to deal with. And them not allowing to grieve or give any express feelings or pour their heart out. To them, at the end, it's a sign of weakness for them. That's an OSA and what they've. Now from Liz Gale to, let me try this, to the Church of Scientology. Hope I said it right. Is a channel, right, that is streamed has the most greatest laughs in the world when comedy is concerned. Scientology is the most funniest channel of any kind and is a few laughs. Show's host is an AI generated program for this YouTube channel. That's a hit and has every subscriber with a thumbs up. This kind of show would be the most successful show and it's also streamed in any household in the United States. The Church of Scientology has all the information for anyone who is looking for an informative program. And of course, each and every other show is too, but this one takes the cake because this channel was created to give families all the resource they should have when it comes to getting all the facts about Scientology's. These are the facts about all of L. Ron's dirty laundry, brainwashing, money laundering, slave labor, child labor, abusive, hateful, gaslighting, and spite in the world. Nobody will be safe from Scientology if they are around your neighborhood. They would cause so much chaos. And the Church of Scientology will tell you all that when the person starting to stream the information, the AI generator host is always on the mark when it has all the facts. And the person behind that AI sure know how to stream it successfully when it's sent to every home. Behind that programming every part when putting it out. But all in all, that channel would ultimately have the right information for everybody to have. And we all know when AI is used, it doesn't really sound like a robot. It would sound like a regular person, whether it's a man or woman, talking. It just sounds so crisp and so. Then, nevertheless, everyone will be safe from Scientology because law enforcement will eventually make more arrests in the future. But overall, everybody would know everything about that cult and won't be a thor once they are behind bars. Because now, due to the internet, everyone will know what they will be doing when they are well informed from the internet. Now, the regular news does put it out there, but not as much. Because they're afraid of Scientology, but of course, not all of them are, because Kelly Morgan and Anderson Cooper would do it anyway by saying, you know what, Scientology, tough. We are going to air it anyway. That's the attitude they have. So I think those two are the only two that I know of that would put a story out there, other than maybe a couple of other reporters and news channels do. But however, those are the only two I'm aware of anyway. Because now, furthermore, Scientology won't hurt any more people, or people won't be selves in the mercy of Scientology, the cult. They shouldn't sugarcoat it either. They will wind up dead, or when they run into any member of OSA, if they are from Scientology. All know that Confident Chris last year was attacked when OSA paid a street guy to beat him up. That poor guy ended up with staples in his head and stitches. And it's due to the fact that OSA didn't like the protesters. And they did not like him protesting, him or any other protester. And they only care about their own constitutional rights. Deal with it. Then, in conclusion, there won't be any more child labor, human trafficking, money laundering, or any kind of abuse in Scientology due to Scientology. I hope I said it right. Now, as you all know, I forgot to tell you. Now, yesterday, I went on to the Scientology hate site and no subscribers. Now, if you want, everybody, go on to the channel, give it a thumbs down, and if it's rough on them, then who cares? This is right after you give them the thumbs down. If you want to follow my lead, that's fine. If you don't, that should be fine. It reached the end of the road for me. So, hit that like, press subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7. Thank you.